Lindsey, and this is my speech on should the U.S. immigration laws be the same or should they be revised. U.S. immigration laws today and the temporary protected status are somewhat unfair to people who are not from the United States, yet they want to become a U.S. citizen. The U.S. immigration laws are very complicated and they are even very hard for me to wrap my head around. I did not become interested in these immigration laws until I myself traveled to a third world country and saw the reasons that people who live in places like that would want to get out and live in a place like the United States. Imagine if you lived in a place that had no clean water to drink, no schools, no houses, and in some case, you could not even afford one pair of clothes that were your own. I don't know about you, but personally, I would also want to get out if that was the life that I was living. Immigration laws are laws that are set by the government to determine if a person should or should not get U.S. citizenship along with the rights, duties, and obligations that all U.S. citizens have. Many immigrants live in the United States on a green card or they're here on temporary protected status, which allows them to come to the U.S. after their home country has suffered in things like natural disasters or war, or they have a reason that they need to be out of their country and be in a safe place like the United States. The temporary protected status was established by Congress in the U.S. Immigration Act of 1990. There are over 1 million immigrants in the United States, and they're either here on a green card or some kind of visa or something like the temporary protected status, but they are not considered a U.S. citizen. The U.S. immigration laws today are somewhat focused more on family and work instead of focus on ways that people can come here with their family or for work, but also become U.S. citizens. As of 2017, there were close to 320,000 immigrants here in the United States under temporary protected status. President Trump has recently stated that as of 2019, immigrants from 10 countries here in the U.S. under TPS will lose all of their rights through the program of TPS. He is trying to end it. These immigrants from 10 countries amount for almost 75% of the immigrants here under the TPS and of immigrants here in the United States. This is a chart that shows the number of people here in the United States under immigrants and the year they will expire. So this is the 10 countries that he's kicking them out of, which are Haiti, El Salvador, Syria, Nepal, Honduras, Yemen, Somalia, Sudan, Nicaragua, and South Sudan. As of 2019, immigrants from all 10 of these countries will lose their rights and will slowly be getting sent back to their home country and out of the United States. The U.S. government, I personally think, should start to focus more on bringing all factors together and instead of focusing on only one or two. These U.S. immigration laws have a worldwide limit that put a limit on the amount of people that can come in a year. The U.S. immigration laws currently focus on trying to keep families together. I 100% agree that having a family together should be very important and the factors that play into the U.S. immigration law. Based on family immigration in the United States, it allows a current U.S. citizen to bring a family member to the United States and then become a United States citizen. There are certain family and financial requirements they must have in order to get their citizenship. In 2014, family-based immigration was over half of the immigration here in the United States, but in 2016, over 804,000 people received family-based permanent immigration from the U.S. Under the Trump administration, the government has now restricted family-based immigration with a green card for a spouse or child of U.S. citizen. Now only about 1 million people in the United States will receive family-based immigration each year. The United States allows individuals from poor countries or countries who have war or have had natural disasters to live and work in the United States under temporary protected status. As of now, many of those immigrants will lose their benefits by 2019, which I do not believe is very fair. How sad is it to think about getting away from such a hard life and being able to come and live here in the United States, but then all of a sudden getting those rights taken from you? I do not think that is very fair. The U.S. government has its reasons to take away the status from a person, but I do not believe that it is right to just all of a sudden yank it away. I think that the U.S. government should reevaluate the TPS law and make it more fair to people here in the United States. If people come here on a green card to work or with family, I think that is perfectly fair, but I do not by any means understand why the U.S. government and the Trump administration think that it is okay to just all of a sudden yank a person's rights away from living in the U.S. to not being allowed to live here anymore. I do not believe that is very fair. This poll that I showed you earlier is people here from the United States that are here on TPS, which means I know in Haiti there was multiple earthquakes, El Salvador there was earthquakes, Syria, Nepal, places like that are in war, and they get their families out to come here, and they don't get to stay once they get here, which I do not believe is very fair. I believe that U.S. immigration is a very important thing, and there should be factors that the government look at when determining if someone should or should not become a U.S. citizen, like their past, where they're from, why they're trying to come here. All of those things should play a part, but I do not believe that the Trump administration should be okay with just taking it away from people and having no reason to do it at all. I hope that this inspires you to rethink U.S. immigration and what your views on it are, and I hope that maybe in the future the Trump administration can change and have laws like TPS reevaluated and become more fair to people who are just trying to live in the United States.